Welcome Wastelanders to my second Precon review and upgrade guide for Hail Kaiser, and this is a deck that is much more self-assured about its game plan than scrappy survivors before it. A plan which has all the subtlety of a super mutant wielding a super sledge, i.e. to smash face, but gets there with surprising depth due to the vast number of cards that are doing more than one thing. However, it falls just short of getting the job done, so I will suggest improvements so Kaiser's domination is undeniable. Kaiser, Legion's Emperor's text suggests many avenues to victory. His whenever you attack text is followed through the deck by 13 other creatures and one enchantment with some variation of when they attack or when creatures you control attack in their text. And these are really good attack triggers. Paladin Elizabeth Taggarty's Battalion trigger, a theme we saw return with Aurelia the Law Above, draws a card and puts creatures into play for free, also attacking. We get Rose Cutthroat Raider, a quasi-mono red Timna the Weaver for junk tokens, and you don't even have to deal damage, just attack. Just send some expendable tokens into the fray and you have Impulse Draw 3 while adding 3 red mana. Desdemona Freedom's Edge attacks, and then artifact creatures and creatures with 3 or less mana value in the yard gain escape. The attack triggers are versatile and interesting, and any one of these will make an amazing commander for other decks. 10 cards synergize with Kaiser's sacrificing of creatures, so prepare for multi-trigger happiness. Some give us resources when they or other creatures bite the big one. There is Ramp, Draw, Impulse Draw with junk tokens, Questionable Food, Drain, and Creature Pump. Luckily, we don't have to just rely on incidental death in combat or Kaiser exploiting the weak. 5 other cards let us sacrifice creatures for profit, the standout being Colonel Autumn, who gives all legendary creatures exploit, and we have 16 legends to choose from, and exploit leads to team-wide buffs, which helps solve a shortcoming of the deck that we will discuss later. The deck also gives us a steady supply of tokens to turn into fodder or to turn Kaiser's last ability into a win. A massive 19 cards produce tokens. The best token producers bring back the squad mechanic, a kicker cost for making token copies, with 6 cards which exemplify the multifaceted gameplay on offer. These creature exploitable tokens can double or triple up on ETBs, like Wasteland Raider's Edict effect, and that Edict effect then triggers one of the 10 cards that likes creatures to die. This is what the deck does well, a domino rally of triggers. The squad mechanic is also giving us artifact removal, evasive rats, and shared animosity, the Garrying edition, and you all know I'll be building a doppelgang deck that aims to make 54 Garys next week. No, really. Subscribe for all that Gary madness. The headline here is, Legionnaires, Bandits and Rogues be doing it for themselves. We don't need Kaiser to win, but he's everything we want from a commander in the zone. Even if we have him for just one turn, he's card draw, sacrifice outlet, token maker, and reverse Rakdos Charm-esque win con. What's coming over the irradiated hill is a monster backed up by evasion from McCready and Butch Deloria. 9 cards that get more cards into our hands, such as Skull Clamp, Wild Wasteland, and the ever-optimistic sycophant Yes Man Personal Securiton, who, oh look, is drawing us cards and making us tokens. The double duty continues. But once the army arrives, one of 2 things happens. Megaton blows up and deals 8 damage to an unprotected board and we lose it all, or we can't get our creatures through quick enough to end the game. And this is where we take 11 cards out and fix those problems. Out goes Craig Boone Novak Guard. The potential for damage is trifling next to what we could do with other cards. Impassioned Orator leaves Kaiser's service because the rate at which we accrue tokens again leads to a trifling increase in life, and with no life gain synergy, it feels out of place. Kellogg Dangerous Mind, unsurprisingly, is doing things for his favourite person, himself, and his single-minded attack trigger doesn't mesh with the deck's master plan. Legate Lanius Kaiser's Ace is out because of maths. Mr. House President and CEO is a seed for another deck, will be very popular, but is completely out of place in this deck. As is the Mysterious Stranger, its random ability is as random as its placement in this deck. This is also the reason I am taking out Stolen Strategy. Sierra, Nuka's biggest fan, is just like the drink, amazing flavour, but we need buffs for the whole team, not just one creature. No one is surviving with Survivor's Medkit in the build, though I am partial to a fancy lady snack cake. The Nipton Lottery, again, the flavour, but also the random. I like my carnage to be calculated. And finally, Vault 11 Voter's Dilemma. Straight into my Toymaker deck you shall go, but I dismiss you from Kaiser's service. These are my suggestions for cards going in. First, we shore up the weakness of our team to nuclear fallout with protection pieces. That's a lot of investment to lose, so we add in a Boris Charm, Clever Concealment, because tokens and Convoke go together like, my script says, insert Fallout reference here. Oh, I forgot to do that, whoops. Flawless Maneuver, which has been reprinted in Rebellion Rising, and Rootborn Defences, which gives us a copy of a token alongside our protection, and hopefully that token is a squad token for another ETB. Next, the deck just needs a little extra something to push the team over the top. Nothing makes me happier than finding a card that sounds like it should be in the deck. Here's For the Emperor to pump and keyword up the team, alongside a Chroma's Vengeance, reprinted in the Veloci Raptor Precon. The deck already has Overseer 76, Intangible Virtue, Heroic Reinforcements, Fervent Charge and other cards, but in playtesting it just needed a few more ways to close out the game. Recursion in the deck is dealt with by Desdemona and Marshal's Anthem, but I felt it needed a feral ghoul's best friend, Living Death, and found a cool combo with Thrill Kill Disciple, which asks us to discard to squad up. That lets us fill the yard alongside everything else we've been sacrificing and bring it back later. And Living Death just wins games. And in a deck with so many attack triggers, and Ishin 2 Heavens as 1, I believe the word the kids use is slaps. More junk tokens, +4/+4 buffs, bigger, more insane Garys, love me some Garys, and if we are attacking, Dolmen Gate negates damage to all our violent overtures. Finally, Wander the World Soul for the Convoke, and Mardu Ascendancy for more token production and a toughness buff at the right time. For me, this is an incredibly flavourful and successful deck. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. And if you've enjoyed this humble free content today, a like and subscribe would mean the world to me. Check out my Scrappy Survivors review and upgrade guide on the channel, and I am off now to run an errand for Kaiser. He swears I'll be fine and that I'm very important to him, but little does he know I'm deserting him because I've got 2 more Precon reviews to write. Until then, I am Lee, and this was MTG Specs.